Let's do some stand-up. Come on, Sam. You're a funny guy. What? Yeah. Like
Hello? Oh. Okay. Only through passion and perseverance can we obtain success. These are wise words said about 3 seconds ago at a senior breakfast speech. Ever since they've been spoken, I've tried to live by those words. And so far it's been a great 10 seconds. I had an epiphany recently, ladies and gentlemen. On a cold night in February, I was on the computer in my parents' basement, and I was rather bored, so I decided to do something unprecedented for my senior year at Cause, my homework. All I had to do that night was read the rest of Hamlet, easy enough. So 2 hours later, I started reading. It was a Shakespearean tragedy, so I wasn't surprised when everyone died at the end. However, it got me thinking. Hamlet was yet another Cause book in which at least one person dies. I mean, in Ishmael, it was Ishmael. In Lord of the Flies, it was Piggy. To Kill a Mockingbird, pretty self-explanatory, I think. And in Madame Bovary, I died of boredom. Now, it was at this moment that I had my epiphany. Death is such a common part of books, because death is such a common part of life. In that respect, and many others, our life is like a book. And if life is like a book, it must have a beginning, a middle, and an end. And we won't know what will happen next. And if it's anything like As I Lay Dying, we won't know what's happening at all. So it's hard to predict our future, our next chapter, as it were. I mean, if you were to come up to me 4 years ago and told me I would do a speech at senior breakfast, I would say, "Who are you? And what are you doing in my bathroom?" Now, no two books are the same. They all vary, just like our lives. Some will be as long as the Odyssey, others as short as Beowulf, and some as overrated as Anthem. Now that I indulged in my literary epiphany, I tried to treat my life like any book at Cause. I went to SparkNotes. I read the various summaries of each bygone chapter of my life, but I'd stop at the analysis part, because those are always too long. And they don't help you on quizzes. So we all have our own books, and not just the students, but teachers have them as well. And they even have titles, some of which I will share with you today. Miss Lasmar would be, "Become a teacher," they said. It would be fun, they said. Mr. Hackworth's would be, "I probably shouldn't say this, but..." Mr. Kaufman would be, "Life and Times of the Dinosaur from Toy Story." Miss Hughes would be, "Ooh, look at that!" A woman who pretended to like students' crappy art. Mr. Ramses would be, "Ooh, look at that." A man who told the truth about crappy art. Dr. Murray's would be, "Badoots." The story of the funniest and punniest man within a 3-foot radius of himself. And Miss Cordy's would be a series of short stories. Aren't I nice? So if all of our lives are essentially books, this made me think even deeper. If life is like a book, who is its author? Now, some of you might say it's God, and to that I say this is a public school, so cut it out. What I'm trying to say is that your book is an autobiography. Not like an Oprah Winfrey or Malcolm X autobiography. You actually have to write it. And it is up to you to do so before someone else does it for you. There was a man in Eritrea who I used to know. He would sit there watching the sunrise and the sunset, always being passive, never taking control of his own life. So I came up to him and I told him, you need to take control. You need to write your own book. He took this advice and he was so grateful. He looked at me and he said, and I'll never forget the words, which roughly translates to, thank you. Rough translation. My mom knows that I just recited the Our Father in a different language. So from then on, the man took control of his life. He became a better person and would go on to be my father. That doesn't make any sense. I was not expecting that reaction. And although I obviously made that story up, we should do our best to follow in that man's imaginary footsteps. This holds true whether you're young or old, teacher or student, AP or IB. By the way, how are my IB students? Wait. Now begin to time writing about how you feel. Don't forget to add spin. And oh yeah, it's the last minute. And while they're writing, now how are my AP students? Wait, let me speak your language. Are you feeling A, good? B, okay? C, sad? Or D, pretentious? I only tease because we all love each other. For love, friendship, community, and education are words you can find at Cause or any other place that owns a dictionary. So as we sit here eating our $16 sausages, and getting ready for our next chapter, let's be grateful that we have a chapter to write in the first place, for the very fact that we have a book to create is extremely special. And in that respect, we are all equal. For in the immortal words of Thomas Jefferson, I hope that slave's baby isn't mine. So I just want to say, thank you. It's been an absolute honor and a pleasure spending the last 4 years with you, and I wish you all the best. Thank you.